During a midwinter trip to the Norwegian city of Bergen, I set off from the main station and caught an early morning train towards Myrdal, where I travelled 106.7 kilometres east to Voss. With only 10 minutes to fight through the skiers, snowboarders and all their equipment, I boarded the connecting bus and quickly left the town to go north, fleetingly passing the mighty Tvinnefossen waterfall, albeit frozen, and the Elva River, before reaching, 1 hour later, the old Viking hamlet of Gudvangen. This sleepy waterside dwelling provides a souvenir shop and some entertainment to help pass the time for the tourists, although the one-man performance on Viking folklore was admittedly a little wooden. Yet I had no need of these distractions, as I was content just standing by the waterfront for nearly an hour. Even if my toes and fingers had fallen off from frostbite here, I probably wouldn't have even noticed, because I was completely transfixed by the stunning sight of the Nærøyfjord before me. But it wasn't just the view that brought me to this location. I was waiting for a sea-bearing vessel. No, not that one, but this, a Fjord cruise ship that would take me along one of Europe's narrowest and most protected fjords. The small coffee bar on board is adequate enough to keep passengers fueled during the 2-hour trip, and there are plenty of toilet facilities, although the mind boggles on pondering what on earth previous passengers did or possibly didn't do in these cubicles to warrant this set of accompanying instructions. Other perils to watch out for on board are the slippery conditions of the decks during the winter months, and the horrific images of badly manicured nails dotted around the ship. Even when it's cold enough to freeze the fresh water here, the passing scenery along the Nærøyfjord and connecting our Fjord is simply delightful, with striking rock formations, picturesque little villages and hamlets along the shores, stunning effects by the rising sun, if indeed the sun is shining, but sadly no sight of parrots, dead, ex or otherwise. Maybe it was the time of year that kept them away, as indeed the winter months keeps most living creatures and visiting beings away from this part of the country, leaving the passengers brave enough to bear the cold on this cruise ship to enjoy these breathtaking sights and waters all to ourselves. Well, almost to ourselves. The cruise ends at the village of Flåm, but thankfully the tour doesn't. Just a few hundred metres from the harbour is the Flåmsbana Railway that proclaims it is one of the world's most beautiful train journeys. In anticipation of the next stage of this tour, I overheard a fellow passenger asking the train driver which was the best side to sit on during the journey. Without a crack of a smile, the driver informed her that the best side was the inside, and he certainly wasn't wrong. The view of the Flåm Valley from either side of the carriages is truly breathtaking, and thank goodness it is, as it distracts passengers from the relentless, ear-piercing screech of the wheels during the 1-hour journey, as the train twists and turns, a full 180 degrees at some points, and pulls its way up from 2 metres above sea level at Flåm to 866. There are a few scheduled stops along the way, although not all at stations. The driver kindly stops here for exactly 5 minutes to allow passengers to alight and catch a perfect selfie by the Tvinnefossen waterfall. Or maybe the drivers do this out of pride, as this waterfall is used to produce the electricity for the railway. Sadly, no one wanted to take a photo of the power station next to it. I wish I could brag about spending hours planning this perfect route, but alas, that would be a lie. Instead, I simply went online a few days before my excursion to the official Visit Norway website and purchased a Norway in a Nutshell tour ticket. This may well have been the most expensive one-day travel card I have ever purchased to date, but it conveniently did all the donkey work for me, detailing all my connections along Norway's impressively efficient and reliable public transport network. Sadly, all beautiful train journeys come to an end, and this one alights at Myrdal. Especially at this time of year, there is little to do here but wait for the final connection of this tour, either to Oslo, depending on what ticket one has, or back to Bergen. Although Bergen was now 2.5 hours away, I sat back and relaxed and hoped to catch a glimpse of the northern lights along the way.